Hi fellow logicians, welcome to the Logical Christ channel where we evaluate logical argument that would help us apply logic to arguments presented. Now, here's the logical argument we will evaluate. Premise 1. The Kaaba was officially dedicated to pagan gods. Premise 2. Prophet Muhammad re-established the Kaaba to Allah. Conclusion, therefore, Prophet Muhammad adopted paganism and ascribed it to Allah. Sit back and relax, we will be back after this short intro. Here again the logical argument. Premise 1. The Kaaba was officially dedicated to pagan gods. Premise 2. Prophet Muhammad re-established the Kaaba to Allah. Conclusion, therefore, Prophet Muhammad adopted paganism and ascribed it to Allah. Premise 1 argument. According to Dr. Fred McGraw-Donner, at the center of the town was the shrine called the Kaaba, a large, cubical building with a sacred black stone affixed in one corner, that was the sanctuary to the pagan god Hobal. In Surah 22:26 says, "And when we assigned to Ibrahim the place of the house, do not associate anything with me and purify my house for those who circumambulate it and for those who stand and for those who bow and prostrate." Clearly shows that Ibrahim built the Kaaba from his time, Arab people already worshipping around the Kaaba. So the begging question is, who invented the circumambulation, bowing and prostrating to the Kaaba, Allah or the pagans? It is accepted by historians that before Prophet Muhammad came to Mecca, pagan worshippers already doing Islamic-like practices such as circumambulations to the Kaaba. Now for premise 2 argument. After Ibrahim instituted the Kaaba, later, Prophet Muhammad came to Mecca and re-established the Kaaba as the house of Allah, also known as Bayt Allah, and cast out the other idols, and allegedly adopted the idol Hobal, since his father was dedicated to that chief god in the Kaaba. Here's a clip that explains what happened in the Kaaba from the time of Prophet Muhammad's grandfather, and how Muslim scholars relate Hobal to Allah.
From Ibn Kathir, one of the greatest Muslim scholars, commentators that ever lived. This is in my article. This comes from the English translation of Al-Sirah Al-Nabawiyya, the biography of Muhammad the Prophet by Ibn Kathir. Volume 1, pages 125, 126. Volume 1. Guys, pay attention. Ibn Ishaq stated, it is claimed that when Abdul Muttalib received such opposition from Quraysh over the digging of Zamzam, he vowed that if 10 sons were born to him, who grew up and protected him, he would sacrifice one of them for God at the Kaaba, Allah at the Kaaba. So notice his vow. If I have 10 sons, I will sacrifice one of them for God at Kaaba. Do you remember what the person said earlier? Oh yeah, but Baal demanded human sacrifice. Did you catch what Abdul Muttalib vowed? To sacrifice one of his sons. Oh yeah, but Baal demanded human sacrifice. Did you just catch it? Abdul Muttalib promised that if Allah gave him 10 sons, he would sacrifice one of his sons, a human sacrifice to Allah. Watch here. Let's see who's going to see this. Who's going to make the connection. Eventually he had 10 sons grown up, whom he knew would give him protection. Their names were Al-Harith, Al-Zubayr, Hajl, Dirar, Al-Muqawwim, Abu Lahib, Al-Abbas, Hamza, Abu Talib, and Abdullah. He assembled them, let's see who's going to catch this. He assembled them and told them of his vow and asked them to honor his pledge to God Almighty, Allah Azwajal, and all glorious is He. This is, in Arabic it's Allah. God in English, but Arabic Allah. So he vowed to Allah. Okay. They obeyed and asked him what he wanted them to do. He asked each of them to take an arrow, write his name on it, and return to him. Now watch this. Remember, he's going to go to Allah and sacrifice. Allah. They did so and went with him inside the Kaaba to the site of their god Hubal, where there was the well in which offerings to the Kaaba would be placed. There, near Hubal, were 7 arrows which they would use for divining a judgment over some matter of consequence, a question of blood money, kinship, or the like. They would come to Hubal to seek a resolution, accepting whatever they were ordered to do or to refrain from. Guys, can you help me understand? He made the vow to Allah. Why is he going to the idol Hubal? And why did Ibn Kathir say this was their god Hubal? And why is he asking Hubal whether he can get out of sacrificing one of his sons? If you made the vow to Allah, why are you going to the idol Hubal? And why did Ibn Kathir say that's your God? The God of Muhammad's family, the God of his grandfather, and his father was Hubal.
Following the arguments, we can logically accept the conclusion that based on evidence Prophet Muhammad adopted paganism and ascribed it to Allah. Here is another spin of the same logical argument. Premise 1. The Kaaba is originally the pantheon of the pagan god Hubal. Premise 2. The Kaaba is dedicated to Allah. Conclusion, therefore, Allah is the god Hubal. Here's a clip that further explains a historical context which we can tie Allah to god Hubal.
One of the main, if not the main, false idol that was worshipped at Kaaba was Hubal. Hubal was worshipped in pre-Islamic Arabia. He was a human figure and was believed to control acts of divination, such as throwing arrows towards the statue, and the direction that the arrows landed answered a specific question. Some scholars reference Hubal as a lunar deity tied to a trinity of moon, father, sun, mother, and the evening star, the planet Venus, as their son. Interesting, when we look at one of the most well-known symbols of Islam, it's the crescent moon and a star. There's even a story of a father sacrificing his son at Kaaba to one of the gods. Again, this was years, hundreds of years before Muhammad, which means it's hundreds of years before Allah. Abd al-Muttalib was someone who dug a well known as the Zamzam well. The Quraysh tribe tried to stop him from doing it, but one of his sons stood guard and protected against their protest. He vowed that if he were to have 10 sons to protect him, he would sacrifice one of them to the god at Kaaba. As the story goes, he told his 9 sons that he must keep the vow. It's said that the divination arrows that he used fell upon his favorite son, Abdullah, and he went on and sacrificed his son there. Again, the divination arrows were what were used by Hubal and those who followed him. Quran sources say that he sacrificed to Allah, but it's clear as day to see here that he was sacrificing to Hubal or Baal.
Finally, after our evaluation of the premises, we have a solid logical argument that Premise 1. The Kaaba was officially dedicated to pagan gods. Premise 2. Prophet Muhammad re-established the Kaaba to Allah. Conclusion, therefore, Prophet Muhammad adopted paganism and ascribed it to Allah. What do you think, my fellow logicians? Comment down below.
Thinking with Logical Christ.